All right, next question is from SWisney4. She asks, what to do about aggressive behavior at the vet when otherwise does not display any aggressive behavior? Has to be muzzled at the vet now. This is a good question because people ask me this a lot, and also people get genuinely concerned about their dog's behavior at the vet. So let's start off by saying this is not abnormal. Because your dog is bad at the vet or needs to be muzzled at the vet does not mean you have a bad dog or an aggressive dog, right? Because a lot of people equate the two together, right? The vet is like no other place that your dog goes. Your dog only goes there once or twice a year, maybe, right? And anytime they go there, weird, annoying, scary shit happens, right? They get poked with things, they get handled in all sorts of really, really strange ways. They have a bunch of new people that are getting in their business. There's a lot of dogs around. It's a chaotic environment usually. So I would say like 90% of dogs are a little bit more poorly behaved than others at the vet. Now, in addition to that, the things that happen in the vet are slightly out of your control, right? Once I hand my leash to the vet and I give them my dog, I no longer can give direction, right? Which means that the vet is not gonna be giving proper direction probably, which means my dog's not gonna listen to them, right? So let's start off by, let's break it down into two things here. Let's break it down into the coming into the vet part of things and the waiting and hanging out in the waiting room, and then the examination. The coming in and the waiting room and all of that kind of stuff, that's something you do have control over, and that's something you could hold your dog to a very clear expectation in, right? Knowing this is a much higher arousal situation, you need to pick what it is that you're trying to ask the dog to do, whether it's waiting at the doorway, heeling as they go in, holding a downstay once they get in, which is my routine personally, right? And you need to up the ante on the accountability behind that and say, I know you're nervous in this situation, but you still have to do this. There's not another option, and I'm gonna hold you to this standard because I know you know how to do it. I know you're scared being here. I know you don't like it being here, but I am in charge right now, not you. You gotta pay attention, right? Hold them to a real firm standard with that. Come in, wait there while you're in the waiting room. Enforce the rules like you're out in public. Don't let people come up and pet your dog. Tell people to stop doing that. Don't let people with other dogs come up to your dog, and enforce those boundaries so your dog still knows, I know we're in a scary place, but I'm still in control of this environment around me right now, right? These scary things aren't gonna come into your space, and I got your back, right? Once you start the examination, then all you do is you give them the muzzle, you hand the leash to the dog or to the vet, and you have them do their thing. Here is where vets will typically make big mistakes. Vets, their number one thing they do at first, right? Their number one thing they do at first is when they come in the waiting room, they don't even say anything to me. It's ridiculous. I've changed vets over this before because it just drives me fucking crazy, right? The first thing that they do is, you got your dog right there hanging out in a chair, and they don't even say anything to me. They're like, hey, are you, right? Which is the number one thing that I tell people to not do with dogs, right? Do not go into their face. Do not corner them in the wall, because that's what every vet tends to do in this situation. It drives me absolutely insane, right? They try to be best friends with the dog. That is not your job right now. I always tell my clients, I am getting paid to train the dog, not to be best friends with the dog. My vet is getting paid to give medical advice on my dog, not to be best friends with my dog. And what they're doing is they're trying to be nice, and they're trying to make buddies with the vet or with the dogs, but all they're doing is scaring them senselessly because they're doing the most intrusive thing possible. My dog is in an anxious state of mind. My dog is cornered up against me in the wall, and they're going into their territory in a really, really, really intrusive manner. So if you have a vet that's doing that, you can do one of two things. You can tell them, stop doing that, please, right? Or you can change vets, right? I work with vets that do not do that kind of stuff. The vets know when they need to examine the dog, here you go, here's the leash, take the dog, do the examination, give the dog back. And what I found is when the vets do that, most of the problems go away because the vet is triggering those issues, right? So that's the big thing that you need to figure out here is the vet what's causing issues. Now, again, back to it, we're not expecting the dog to be perfect in that situation. Frankly, I don't care what the dog does in that situation, right? Muzzle them if you need to. Two of my dogs, both my shepherds, get muzzled when they go to the vet because it's intrusive, it's scary, and I just do it for safety reasons. So don't overthink that one. Focus on the controllable. Focus on what you have control over, which is coming in and waiting, and then when you go to do the examination, find a vet that vibes well with your dog and doesn't put a bunch of undue pressure on them and handles the situation appropriately. And as long as you do that, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Don't freak out about it. Like you said, you're not having issues anywhere else with it. The vet is a scary place. That's all you got to worry about with this. So hope that helps. Find a good vet for this. Make sure you trust your vet. Make sure your vet trusts you with the things that you're trying to accomplish, and you shouldn't have any problems.